Sarah is sitting in a Tuesday morning meeting. Her manager glances at her slides and says, casually, almost as an aside, "Next time maybe tighten the middle section, it dragged a little." That's it. 3 sentences. He's already moved on to the next agenda item. But Sarah isn't in the meeting anymore. Something in her stomach has dropped, and a small, quiet trial has just opened in the back of her mind. By lunch, she's replaying the moment. By 3, she's wondering if she's been coasting. By 6, she's half convinced they're building a case to let her go. The feedback was 3 sentences. The internal proceedings lasted 8 hours. If any part of that sounds familiar, the background hum of self-prosecution, the way a small comment can bloom into a whole indictment, this is what we're sitting with today. Because here's the strange claim we're going to test: that the courtroom itself is imaginary. That the voice narrating your inadequacy has been running a trial with no jurisdiction, no evidence, and no valid case. The guilt you carry, the low-grade sense that you owe something, that you're not quite enough, that you have to earn your place, it isn't asking to be argued with or medicated or muscled through. It's built on a premise that was never accurate in the first place. And if that's true, the heaviness has been optional the whole time. We're not going to reach that through positive thinking, we're going to reach it structurally. And there's a meditation at the end to let it actually land in your body, not just your head. Here's an image to hold on to. Imagine you've been walking around your whole adult life carrying a piece of paper in your back pocket. It's a debt notice. Someone handed it to you a long time ago. You don't quite remember when. And on it is written an enormous sum. You owe something. You've never been able to pay it off. But you organize a lot of your life around trying. You over-deliver at work. You apologize when someone bumps into you. You feel a little guilty when you rest. You feel a little guilty when you succeed. You feel a little guilty for no reason at all. On a Sunday afternoon, drinking coffee. That's the notice doing its quiet work. Most of us don't experience it as a document. We experience it as a mood. A weight, a background sense that we haven't quite earned the space we're taking up. It shows up as perfectionism, or over-explaining, or that particular flavor of exhaustion that isn't really about the workload. It's about the effort of constantly proving you deserve to be here. And nobody taught us to question the paper. We only ever tried to pay it down. So let's actually get curious for a second. What is the debt for? If you try to trace it back, not the surface story, but the root, you usually find something like, I'm separate. I'm on my own. I'm a small, unstable self. And somewhere along the way I did something, or I am something, that isn't quite right. And now I have to compensate. That's the premise. That's the sentence at the top of the page. Everything else, the self-criticism, the anxious over-effort, the 8-hour internal trial after 3 sentences of mild feedback, everything else is downstream of that one belief. That you're cut off, that you're on your own, that you have to justify your existence. And here's the quiet, radical thing we're being pointed toward. You can't actually be cut off from the source of your own life. Not philosophically, structurally. Whatever it is that's animating you right now, whatever is doing the breathing and the thinking and the caring, is not something you generated on your own, and it's not something you can be exiled from. You are made of it. It would be like a wave trying to be separated from the ocean. The wave can imagine it's on its own. It can spend its whole existence anxious about drying up, but it was never actually apart from the water. Not for a second. So now imagine someone takes that piece of paper out of your pocket. They hold it up to the light. They look at it carefully, and they say, "This was never valid. There's no account, there's no creditor. The signature at the bottom is yours. But you signed it when you were too young to know what you were signing. And the terms describe a situation that isn't real. You weren't in debt, you were just holding a piece of paper someone handed you long ago, and you never questioned whether it was real. This is the turn. This is what changes when the teaching actually lands. It's not that you get better at managing the guilt. It's that the guilt starts to seem a little absurd. The voice that narrates your not quite enoughness doesn't get silenced. It just loses its authority. Like someone arguing, very passionately, that the sun is cold. You can hear them. You just can't take them seriously anymore. Sarah, sitting in her kitchen at 9 p.m., replaying her manager's 3 sentences for the 40th time. Sarah isn't a bad employee having a bad night. Sarah is a person holding an old piece of paper and treating it like a court order. And the moment she looks up from it and notices what she's actually doing, something in her chest can finally exhale. Now, this doesn't happen once and stay handled. The old story is a habit, and habits restart. So the practice is small and ordinary. It's noticing. You'll be driving, or answering an email, or lying in bed at 2 a.m., and you'll feel the familiar tightening, the trial reopening, the paper coming out of the pocket, the case being built against you again. And instead of arguing with it, or trying to fix yourself, or promising to do better tomorrow, you can just ask a quiet question: who told me I owed this? Not as an accusation, as genuine curiosity. Because when you actually look, you usually can't find the creditor. There's no one there, just an old document and a very tired part of you that's been carrying it for a long time. And every time you notice, the paper gets a little lighter. Not because you've done spiritual work, because you stopped pretending it's binding. Here's what tends to arrive quietly when this settles in: a kind of humor, a softness. Small things stop feeling like verdicts. Feedback becomes feedback again, information, not evidence. Rest stops feeling like you're getting away with something. You catch yourself laughing at how seriously you were taking the trial, the way you might laugh later at a nightmare that felt urgent while you were in it. You don't become a different person. You just stop defending against something that was never real. And the energy you were spending on that defense, which turns out to be a lot of energy, becomes available for actually living. That's what we're pointing at. Not a belief to adopt, not a mantra to repeat. Just the possibility that the heaviest thing you've been carrying was never actually yours to carry. And that noticing this, again and again, in ordinary moments, is enough. Let's take a few minutes now to let that move from an idea into something you can feel. If you're finding value here, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. And now, let's shift into a quiet guided meditation together. Let's take a few minutes together. You don't have to sit in any particular way. Just let your body be where it already is. Let your eyes close, if that feels comfortable, or soften your gaze toward the floor. Feel the weight of yourself, held by whatever you're sitting or lying on. Nothing needs to be adjusted. Nothing needs to be fixed. Take a breath in, and a slower breath out. Another breath in and out. Notice, without judgment, whatever is present. Maybe there's tightness somewhere, maybe there's tiredness. Maybe there's a low background hum of things you meant to do today. Just let it all be here. You don't have to work with it. Now, for a moment, imagine you're setting something down. A piece of paper you've been holding for a very long time. You don't have to know what's written on it. Just feel what it's like to put it down. Notice your hands, empty, open. Feel the space in your chest when nothing is being defended. You are not on trial. You are not being evaluated. There is no case being built. There is just this, just breath. Just the quiet fact of your being here. Whatever is alive in you right now, the thing doing the breathing, the thing doing the listening, was never separate from anything. It doesn't have to earn its place. Rest here for a moment. Nothing to prove. Nothing to pay off. Breathe in. Feel the room around you. Feel the weight of your body. Settled. Breathe out. Let the shoulders drop a little more. If a familiar thought arrives, the trial reopening, the paper reaching for your pocket again, just notice it. Let it be there. It doesn't need your defense. You can let it pass. The way weather moves through. Stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, gently bring your attention back to the room. Feel your hands. Feel your feet on the floor, and take one more slow breath, knowing you can return to this place anytime you need to. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a link to a free digital copy of ACIM in the description. And if this video resonated with you, please comment. I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time here. If something in this landed, even a small softening, that's enough. You don't have to do anything with it. Just let it be there, quietly, as you move back into your day. Be gentle with yourself this week. I'll see you next time.